As the 1-0 is going to be fouled off down the third base line for strike one. Now Quentin, Big Train took the victory over the Braves at South County High School last night. Not the prettiest of wins, but came out with the victory nonetheless, as the 1-2 going to be lined into the glove of Mac Lewis. That'll record out number 1 for the Big Train. You didn't get the first bit I said?
Now batting the center fielder, number 29 from Jacksonville.
So to the folks listening, welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. We're here in the Olney Boys and Girls Club. Big Train facing the Cropdusters for the 6th time this season, as the first offering to Andrew Williamson going to be grounded to first baseman Coy Swanson. That'll record out number 2 for the Big Train.
So a quick couple of outs here for Steven Schenning, who has, for the most part, been rolling this summer, entering tonight with a sub 2.0 ERA and just under 14 innings pitched.
Speaking of rolling, Andrew Williamson still on Triple Crown watch, leading the league with a batting average of .450, as the first offering to Whitaker going to be in there for strike one. He's now tied for first in home runs, tied with Carter Groen at 9, and he's just a base hit away from the league lead, Jamie Quinn Irons, who has 34. Williamson has 33. Count now 1-1 on Whitaker.
Now Schenning's last outing came all the way back on July 1st against the Grays. That a 15-4 victory for the Cropdusters. Pitched 3 innings of shutout ball, allowing just 2 hits.
As the 1-1 going to be upstairs for a ball 2. Again, a quick 2 outs for the Big Train here in the top of the first, looking to get a hit and get on base early, as the 2-1 going to be lined through the hole, scooped up by shortstop Reinhold. He'll make the throw over to Swanson at first. That'll record out number. Not in time, it's going to be offline, so Whitaker
Atlantic University, Emilio Gonzalez
going to get aboard base. Now stepping up to the plate, it's going to be Emilio Gonzalez. Was a part of the starting lineup last night. Was unable to reach base. First offering going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Whitaker will remain at first.
Now he did record an RBI on a sacrifice fly, that one of 6 runs the Big Train scored last night. An all-around complete effort in that 6-4 victory over the Braves.
As the 1-0 is going to be low and outside for ball 2.
Will Clements, a fantastic start. Max Martzoff shutting the door once again in the later innings. The offense coming from a variety of contributors.
As Whitaker going to be chased back to first. Count still 2-0 on Gonzalez. 2 outs on the board for the Big Train. Whitaker aboard first. The 2-0 going to be in there for strike 1.
Last night it was a couple of solo home runs from Williamson and Jaden Bastian. 2 RBI hit from Matt Westley and a sacrifice fly from Gonzalez.
The 2-1. That one's going to be low and in the dirt for ball 3. So Gonzalez sitting ahead of the count. Again, Big Train has a runner on first with 2 outs on the board. Looking to strike first. The 3-1. That one going to be fouled off for strike 2. Count goes full on Gonzalez.
I'll have to look closer, but I think Davin Whitaker just got in a 3-point stance. Perhaps a tryout for the East Carolina football team is on the horizon.
Now the last time a couple of these Big Train players were at the Olney Boys and Girls Club was for the Cal Ripken League All-Star game. Emilio Gonzalez, one of the All-Stars representing the Northern Division, as the full count going to be lined to Swanson at first. He'll tag base. That's going to record out number 3. So no hits 1 runner left
Hey,
on
fans, stay
base.
tuned for some
No
exciting
runs for the big
activities during
train.
the game tonight. First, we
We'll
have
be
the
back with the
kids
bottom of the
dusting
first when
bases.
we
That's it.
return. Stay
Kids
tuned. You're
ages
listening to the
5
Big
to
Train
12 years
Baseball
old have your
Network.
chance to run the bases. And don't forget the now infamous Cropdusters baseball team dancing to Cotton Eye Joe. You won't want to miss that.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the first inning. Big Train held scoreless in the top of the first. It's going to be Jake Titus up on the mound for the Big Train. Up at the plate leading things off for the Cropdusters is going to be number 11, Bryce Herb. First offering to Herb. Going to be in there for strike one. It's going to be Cole Constable behind the plate.
Titus looking to bounce back from a rough appearance the last time he was on the mound on July 13th against the Giants.
As the 0-1 is high for ball one.
Allowed 4 earned runs in just a singular inning. That one a 12-5 victory for Gaithersburg.
As the 1-1 going to be lined to Gonzalez at first. That'll record out number 1 for the Cropdusters.
Batting next, the designated hitter number 38 from Millersville University, Jimmy Kirk.
Now stepping up to the plate, number 38, Jimmy Kirk. Going to be the designated hitter for the Cropdusters tonight.
Kirk's been a beast all season, but he's been hot as of late, riding a 4-game hit streak and a 3-game RBI streak. 7 hits in his last 3 games and 9 in his last 4.
As the first offering from Titus is popped high and out of play, sailing over the Cropdusters press box. Count now 0-1 on Kirk. Again, 1 out on the board for the Cropdusters. The 0-1. That's going to be low for ball 1. Now this is just the Big Train's 3rd time playing at the Olney Boys and Girls Club this season. First time they were here, took a 3-6 loss. As the 1-1 going to be a big swing and a miss for strike 2. The next time they came out to Olney, Cropdusters took a 3-2 victory over the Big Train.
Now hopefully for the Cropdusters, Jimmy Kirk brings them some good luck. His last 7 appearances, the Cropdusters have won 6 of them.
As the 1-2 going to be lined to Franklin at shortstop. He'll make the throw over to Gonzalez. Can't get to him in time. So Kirk going to reach base. Gonzalez was low and ready for it, unfortunately. Just a hair outside of his reach. So now stepping up to the plate for the Cropdusters is going to be number 31, Anthony Swenda. Swenda, the 3rd baseman for the Cropdusters tonight. Cropdusters 1 out on the board and 1 runner on base. First offering to Swenda going to be low and outside for ball 1.
So Anthony Swenda was a later addition to the Cropdusters roster. Didn't make his first appearance until June 29th, but has hit a rock-solid 364 since.
As 1-0 is low and outside for ball 2.
Has played 9 games, recorded a hit in 6 of them.
The 2-0, that one just a hair outside for ball 3. So the count now 3-0 on Swenda. Again, it's Jimmy Kirkett first for the Cropdusters and 1 out on the board as the 3-0 gonna be in there for strike 1. So Titus fighting back from the hitter's count. The 3-1. That one in there for strike 2. Swenda thought it was ball 4. Gonna have to return to the batter's box. The 3-2 from Titus. Runner's gonna go. It's fouled off. So Kirk gonna have to track back over to first. Count still full on Swenda, 1 out on the board. The 3-2. That's gonna be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 2.
That's a great job by Titus of battling back from a 3-0 hole. I thought not the last pitch, but the pitch before actually hit Swenda. But luckily for Titus, it didn't, and he's able to strike him out on an off-speed pitch, tailing away.
So now stepping up to the plate, going to be number 25, Nick Lukak. He's going to be the center fielder for the Cropdusters tonight. His first offering going to be swung on and missed for strike 1. The 0-1. That going to be fouled off for strike 2.
Constable looked like that one nicked him. He'll have to take a lap around the circle around home. Now around the Cal Ripken League, the T-Bolts and the Giants both getting the night off, so just 3 games tonight. The Senators are leading the Grays at PG Community College 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th. The Senators vying for a host spot in a playing game. The Grays simply fighting for a wild card spot. And in Alexandria, the Braves and Aces are pre-gaming. Seems a little irresponsible before a baseball game, but I guess we'll see what happens.
The 0-2 to Lukak. That one going to be grounded to pitcher Titus. He's going to flip it over to Gonzalez to record out number 3. So the Big Train leave a Cropduster stranded on the base path. Hold them scoreless. It's still a tie game. Big Train looking to strike back from the plate when we return with the top of the 2nd. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Golden ticket. Crop shops located at the first base side of the field.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Top of the second, going to be Christopher Diaz leading things off for the Big Train. He'll take the first offering from Skenning in there. Strike one, count moving. 0-1 on Diaz.
We didn't see Diaz in the game last night at South County High School. Now getting the start in right field tonight.
As he's going to line the 0-1 through the middle, base hit for Diaz.
Now speaking of right field, right on cue there, lining one through the hole on the right side. The second baseman, Mac Lewis, unable to get to that one.
Now stepping up, going to be the designated hitter for tonight, Jordan Crosland. Typically see him in that second baseman position, taking on a new role tonight.
Now we've already seen Crosland take on a new role in the infield this summer.
It's the first offering to Crosland. Is going to be in there for strike one.
Primarily played outfield last season for Maryland. But versatility in not just baseball, but really a lot of team sports is a very valuable asset.
As Diaz going to be chased back to first. Crosland had an excellent night from the plate at South County last night. Hit a double and was also walked earlier in the evening. The 0-1 going to be outside for ball one, looking for some more success from the plate tonight.
That double by Crosland was actually the result of poor fielding and also great hustle by Jordan Crosland. It was a pop-up into shallow right field. The Braves second baseman, Nolan Book, unfortunately couldn't get a good read on it. And when the ball dropped, Crosland was already at second base.
The 1-1 going to be in there for strike two. So the count now 1-2 on Crosland. It's Diaz at first for the Big Train. No outs on the board yet.
Waiting on deck is the left fielder, Jaden Bastian. Also had a productive night last night.
The 1-2. That one going to be grounded to Reinhold at short. He'll flip it over to Lewis at second, who will pop it over to Swanson at first. That's going to be a double play for the Cropdusters. So quick 2 outs. As now the left fielder, Jaden Bastian, steps up to the plate.
Again, looking to carry the momentum of last night into tonight. Hit his second home run of the season, both of which have come against the Braves at South County High School. Also had probably my favorite slide of the season.
As the first offering to Bastian, going to be fouled off into the catcher for strike one, as there's some rain starting to come down here at the Olney Boys and Girls Club.
And our interns adjacent to us to the left running under a tent like there were bullets raining down from the sky.
As the next offering going to be fouled off in the dirt for ball two. Count now 2-0 on Bastian. So just a quick couple of raindrops. The rain has already ceased here at the Olney Boys and Girls Club.
Mother Nature, what's up? What are we doing?
Going to be low and outside for ball three. It seems the Clouds really don't want this game to be played. It was rained out last week, as we said. Rescheduled for today. Bastian will show bunt. He'll pull back at the last second, but unfortunately for him, it's in there for strike one. So count moves 3-1 on the left fielder. The 3-1 swung on and missed for strike two. Count goes full on Bastian. Again, it's 2 outs on the board for the Big Train after a stunning double play from shortstop Reinhold. Mac Lewis at second and Coy Swanson at first. The full count. That one going to be popped high and out of play. Under it with the catch, and on out number 3 going to be Coy Swanson. So the Big Train still held scoreless. Looking to hand the Cropdusters the same fate when we return with the bottom of the second. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Look for amazing burgers, hot dogs, chicken nuggets, and
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Big Train held scoreless for the second consecutive inning. Cropdusters leading off the second inning with Coy Swanson, the first baseman. Still Jake Titus on the bump for the Big Train. First offering to Swanson, going to be upstairs for ball one.
Swanson hitting .279 entering tonight, 4 homers and 17 RBIs.
The 1-0. That's going to be in there for strike one. Count moves 1-1 on Swanson.
He's recorded a hit in 6 of his last 7 games.
The 1-1 going to be low for ball two.
Going to be a rising sophomore at the University of Maryland.
The 2-1 to Swanson. Going to be in there for strike two. Count moving even on Swanson. The 2-2. That's going to be outside for ball three. Swanson now facing a full count.
And waiting on deck is Connor Spellman.
As the 3-2 going to be grounded through the hole, but a diving Nato at second makes the scoop. Attempts to make the throw at first, but it's just a hair off line. So Swanson going to get aboard base, but it's an excellent diving effort from Nato at second base.
That was really great ground coverage. Unfortunately, just couldn't throw it accurately from his knees over to Gonzalez. So that'll put Swanson aboard safely for Connor Spellman, walking up to a little Taylor Swift.
First offering to Spellman, going to be in there for strike one. Now, we mentioned last night a couple of Big Train alum that went during the first 2 days of the MLB draft. We've got a couple more names for you now. Kyle Robinson, a left-handed pitcher, played for Big Train in 2021 as the count moves 1-1 on Spellman. He attended Texas Tech and was picked in the 11th round, number 316 by the Oakland A's. Merritt Beaker, a left-handed pitcher who played for Big Train in 2022.
Oh, there goes the runner.
As the runner goes, Constable going to attempt to gun him down, but runner is safe at second. So the count now 1-2 on Spellman. Sorry, Merritt Beaker attended Ball State, was picked in the 11th round, number 320 by the Washington Nationals. And then Jason Schiavonia, catcher, who attended JMU, played for Big Train in 2022 and 2023, picked in the 11th round, number 343 by the Houston Astros, as Spellman's going to go down looking. That's going to record out number one for the Cropdusters, who again have a runner aboard second. Now stepping up to the plate is number 9, Mac Lewis. Everett Catlett, a left-handed pitcher who played for Big Train in 2021, attended Georgetown, picked in the 12th round, number 348 by the Colorado Rockies. And then Jordan Little, a right-handed pitcher who played for the Big Train in 2022, attended Virginia Tech, as Lewis going to ground that to Nato at second, who will send it to Gonzalez at first to record out number 2. Swanson advancing to third. Now stepping up, going to be number 24, Griffin Pouvel. So again, Jordan Little played for Big Train in 2022, attended Virginia Tech, was picked in the 15th round, number 449 by the Cincinnati Reds. And then it's Christian Martin, another Virginia Tech Hokie, a shortstop, played for Big Train in 2021, picked in the 18th round, number 531 by the St. Louis Cardinals. So congratulations to all the Big Train alum. First offering to Pouvel, going to be outside for ball one.
I remember Christian Martin very well. It's funny, he probably has or had one of my favorite nicknames anyone in the Big Train organization ever gave to any player.
Count moves 2-0 on Pouvel.
We were in Washington, D.C. playing the Grays. They used to play at Nationals Youth Academy.
It's the 2-0, going to be in there for strike one.
Christian Martin laid down a really nice bunt, made it to first safely, and somebody dubbed him Bunt Daddy. Don't remember who it was.
The 2-1 going to be popped high into left center field. Under it at the track going to be Andrew Williamson with the catch and out number 3. So Cropdusters still held scoreless. And it's funny you mentioned his nickname that he acquired while playing for the Big Train. At Virginia Tech, he's known as Chick Martin. But that's going to do things for the second inning. Both teams still scoreless. Big Train looking to take the first lead of the evening when we return. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the third inning. Both teams still scoreless. It's going to be 8-9-1 due up for the Big Train. Shortstop Landon Franklin now at the plate. First offering going to be missed. Trick swing, did he go? He did not. So count moves 1-0 on Franklin. The 1-0. That one's going to miss in the dirt for ball 2.
Now we've seen Franklin in the starting lineup the past handful of games. Went 1 for 4 last night against the Braves.
The 2-0. It's going to be low for ball 3.
But that one a good bounce back performance from Franklin, who had entered that game just one of his last 11 from the plate.
As Franklin will show bunt, but retract at the last second. But unfortunately for Franklin, that one in there for strike 1. So count moving 3-1 on Franklin. The 3-1. That one going to be popped high and caught by Lewis at second base. He'll send it to Swanson at first to record out number 1.
As we see at second base, the return of the Mac. That's Mac Lewis from the great College of Purdue University in beautiful West Lafayette, Indiana.
Now up at the plate, catcher Cole Constable. First offering, going to be low and outside for ball 1.
Now Constable has not recorded a hit since July 6th against the Cropdusters.
It's the 1-0 going to be popped high into right center field. It's going to drop for a base hit. Talk about a jinx.
Right on cue. That was pretty good. Constable was 0 for his last 11.
Until tonight.
Nice piece of hitting right there.
So Constable, a base hit into shallow center right field. 1 out on the board for the Big Train as the leadoff hitter, Justin Nato, steps up to the plate.
Now Nato has recorded a hit in all 5 appearances this summer. Made his Big Train debut against the Cropdusters back on July 6th.
As the first offering, going to be low for ball 1.
Went 3 for 4 that game. Recorded an RBI and 2 walks. That won an 8-5 victory, as you said earlier, Phoebe, for the Big Train.
The 1-0. That one going to be fouled off towards the Cropdusters dugout for strike 1. NATO was absent from the starting lineup last night at South County, but played the game previous to that against the T-Bolts in Silver Spring. Recorded a base hit in a pair of walks during that game. The 1-1 gonna be fouled off into the backstop for strike 2.
And waiting on deck is Williamson, who, as we said earlier, hit his 9th home run of the summer last night.
He's now tied for first in league lead of home runs. Leads in batting average and is just one base hit behind the current league leader. Runner's gonna go towards second. Catcher Spellman makes the throw over to shortstop Reinhold, but it's offline, so Constable successfully stealing second. The count even at 2 on NATO. 1 out on the board for the Big Train.
That is Constable's first stolen base of the summer.
What an exciting moment. Constable, he's having a great game so far this evening. A base hit and then his first stolen base of the summer is the 2-2, going to be swung on and missed. That's going to record out number 2 for the Big Train.
That's a nasty off-speed pitch from Schenning. It was pretty clear that NATO was going to swing and miss on that one.
It's now our Triple Crown watch. Andrew Williamson steps to the plate. As you said, has had home runs in the last 2 games. Last night at South County and then the night before in Silver Spring, a grand slam which tied the game at 7, ultimately leading to the Big Train victory over the T-Bolts. First offering to Williamson, going to be in there for strike 1.
As the game in PG Community College is almost final, the Senators leading the Grays 4-2 in the bottom of the 9th with 1 out. Carter Groen did not hit a home run.
As the 0-1 popped high into left field, under it with the catch. And out number 3 going to be Bryce Herb, so both teams still scoreless as we head into the bottom of the 3rd. A couple of hits, no runs, 1 runner left on second for the Big Train. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
All of our home run clubs.
The juice is in the mix, it'll fix you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down, mix up. Boogie down, fix up.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the 3rd. It's still a scoreless game here at the Olney Boys and Girls Club. Kicking things off in the 3rd inning for the Cropdusters is going to be their shortstop, Josh Reinhold. It's going to be 9-1-2 up for the Cropdusters as the first offering going to miss for ball 1.
Now, we've usually seen Reinhold more towards the top of the lineup, but batting 9th tonight for the Cropdusters.
Is the 1-0 going to be low for ball 2?
On a bit of a cold streak. He went 2 for 5 on July 11th.
2-0 going to be swung on and missed for strike 1.
But since July 5th, just 3 for his last 21, which is actually my birthday, so shout out Josh Reinhold.
As a 2-1 fouled off of catcher Cole Constable for strike 2. Count now even on Reinhold. Umpire going to hand Titus a fresh ball.
Speaker's kind of loud today, don't you think?
Yeah, the Cropdusters sound team playing some classic ball game organ tunes. Is a 2-2 upstairs for ball 3. Count moves full on Reinhold.
Sometimes I occasionally forget we do broadcast about a few feet away from one of the speakers here at the Only Boys and Girls Club.
As the full count grounded shallowly to Franklin at short, he'll flip it over to Gonzalez at first to record out number 1.
Batting next, the left fielder, number 11 from Shippensburg
Now
University.
stepping up the top of the order, number 11 left fielder Bryce Herb. 1 out on the board for the Cropdusters again. Game still scoreless.
I will say, perching yourself for a game right next to loud sounds, whether it be a speaker or a team's band, is definitely a character-building experience. Maybe not for your long-term hearing, but everything else, yes.
As the first offering to Herb, gonna nail him on the dome. He'll take his base at first.
Batting next, the designated hitter, number 38.
So that's gonna send up the designated hitter, number 38, Jimmy Kerr.
I remember this past women's basketball season, I traveled from Columbia to St. Louis. Mizzou was playing St. Louis University at Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis, and we were seated right in front of the Billikens band.
As the first offering, Herb chased back to first.
The Atlantic 10 really throwing you off there.
Because your comment made me think of an experience I had covering women's basketball. Is Kirk gonna foul the first offering down the third base line to record strike 1, and then I got so excited to tell it that I tripped over my words.
Well, what is it?
I attended the women's basketball Virginia Tech NC State at NC State's home stadium, and they had all the writers and broadcasters positioned directly in front of their band. So actually a friend of both of ours, Cal Ripken League writer Taylor Brettel, I remember him quite literally sitting with his laptop in front of him and 2 trombones on either side of his head. It was a loud game to report on as the 0-1 fouled off out of play for strike 2.
It also stunk for me because SLU ended up winning that game 93-86. So not only were there a lot of points, SLU had a lot to cheer about. Needless to say, I was excited to not hear cymbals for at least another week.
Runner's going to go to second. Constable makes the throw over to second, not in time. So Herb safely aboard second, putting the Cropdusters' potential first run in scoring position. Kirk still at the plate, facing a 1-2 count. Now, a very different start than what we saw last time these two teams faced each other. Big Train took a very early jump, recorded 8 runs in just the first 3 innings. And it's the 1-2 going to be fouled off into the backstop. Kirk will stay alive to face the 1-2 count for a second time.
I like that pitch from Jake Titus. That one on off speed, tailing away. Jimmy Kirk falling off balance.
As Titus gonna chase Herb back over to second. Again, it's the left fielder Bryce Herb at second, hoping to score the Cropdusters' first run of the evening, and it's Jimmy Kirk, the designated hitter, at the plate. The 1-2 popped high into center field. It's going to drop in front of the charging Williamson. He'll make the toss over to Nato at second. Runner choosing not to go as Williamson had charged nearly to the infield. So it's still just one out on the board for the Cropdusters, who now have 2 runners on base. It's Bryce Herb on second and Jimmy Kirk on first. Now number 31, Anthony Swenda, up at the plate, was struck out during his previous at-bat.
I don't think Williamson got a great read on that ball to start. It was moving slow, and then suddenly a burst of speed.
It's the first offering to Swenda. Going to be low and outside for ball 1. You saw him start to charge in at the very last second and was just a step away from it before the ball dropped. The 1-0 going to be fouled off down the third base line, scooped up by Whitaker. It landed just fair. Dead
in the center field,
in the
number
grass.
25 from the University of Indianapolis, Nick Lucas.
So Whitaker scooped it up to record the second out. Cropdusters still have runners on first and second. Gonna be Nick Lukac up at the plate for the Cropdusters. 2 outs on the board, runners on first and second.
A good job of recovering that bobble by Whitaker at third to get the out there.
First offering to Lukac is outside for ball 1.
Cropdusters not a team you want to give extra chances at the plate.
The 1-0 swung on and missed for strike 1. The 1-1 fouled off into the backstop for strike 2. Count now 1-2 on Lukac, 2 outs on the board for the Cropdusters. It's still Bryce Herb at second.
The Big Train tonight looking for their 20th win of the season. Have already clinched a playoff spot. Are likely to host a play-in game.
As the 1-2 going to be swung on and missed for strike 3 and out number 3. Both teams still scoreless as we head into the top of the 4th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the top of the 4th inning. It's going to be Davin Whitaker at the plate. The third baseman for tonight was not in last night's lineup, but played a huge role in the Big Train victory in Silver Spring. The first offering going to bounce off his foot. Whitaker will take his base at first.
Batting next, the first baseman, number 45.
Now
from
stepping up, the
Florida
first
Atlantic
baseman,
University,
Emilio Gonzalez.
I'm curious to see if at first Whitaker turns into a defensive lineman again.
Whitaker now has reached base on his first 2 at-bats of the evening.
There he goes again.
First offering to Gonzalez going to be low for ball 1.
He totally has his hand in the dirt like he's about to rush a passer.
The ever-aggressive Whitaker, we saw how his gutsy moves around the base path led the big train to success over in Silver Spring, as the 1-0 going to be just a hair outside for ball 2.
Maybe he's inspired by the recent release of EA Sports College Football 25.
The 2-0, that one in there for strike 1.
It was funny talking to Max Martzoff before the game. We were actually on the subject of college football and said, what was the school that he said he was going to start at and then eventually transfer from? It was Michigan.
Yes.
And then he said he was going to transfer. I told him to go to Mizzou.
As a 2-1 grounded softly through the hole, scooped up by Reinhold at short. He'll make the throw to Swanson at first, but not in time. So Whitaker advances to second. Gonzalez now on first. No outs on the board for the big train as Christopher Diaz steps up to the plate.
And again, when he said he'd be transferring, I told him to go to Mizzou. Not like I'm biased or anything towards the university.
Of course not.
But he said, no, I want to go to an actually good football school. Now, the whole Miami hate, I understand that because he goes to Florida Atlantic, and a lot of other Florida teams don't like Miami.
As Diaz shows bunt but retracts at the last second. That one missing for ball 1.
But that was uncalled for. I feel like that didn't have to happen.
Oh no, did he lose nice points again?
Yeah.
Diaz will show bunt again, retracting at the last second. Count now 2-0 on Diaz.
This is a common bunting situation for the big train. Runners on first and second with no outs.
And we've seen this move from Diaz quite a few times where he'll show bunt on the first 3 pitches to run the count in his favor. He'll show bunt again. That one landing. And with that, runners will advance to third and second. That one hit very shallowly. Third baseman Swenda unable to get to it in time. So Diaz has successfully loaded the bases for the big train. No outs on the board. Designated hitter Jordan Crosland up to the plate.
I think if you look up bunt in the baseball dictionary, a little video of that would probably be right next to it. That was perfect. So perfect. And it was crazy because both corner infielders, Swenda at third, Swanson at first, were playing in. But Swenda not able to get to that one.
As the first offering to Crosland is low and outside for ball 1.
And now a platinum opportunity for the big train to strike early. Diaz on first, Gonzalez on second, Whitaker at third.
Again, the big train would like to take a hefty lead to start things off as the 1-0. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Count moves 1-1 on Crosland.
And as you said earlier, Phoebe, that's exactly how the big train were able to win comfortably the last time these two teams played at Shirley Povich Field.
The 1-1. That one in there for strike 2. So count now 1-2 on Crosland. There's no outs on the board for the big train, who have the bases loaded after, as you said, a perfect bunt from Christopher Diaz. The 1-2. That one's popped high. It's fair down the first base line. Charging in is Coy Swanson to record out number 1. That one a very shallow pop up.
From Jacksonville University, Jaden Bastian.
That one actually jamming Crosland. And now sometimes if you hit it hard enough, you're able to put it into the outfield, but unfortunately that one will lollipop right to the first baseman, Swanson.
So now up at the plate, left fielder Jaden Bastian. Bases loaded, 1 out on the board for the big train. First offering, gonna be low and outside for ball one.
Bastion's home run last night, taking advantage of the advantageous field dimensions at South County High School. That one just barely clearing the fence out in right field.
As the 1-0 going to be popped high into center field at the wall. Nope, it's out of there. A grand slam from Jaden Bastion to give the Big Train a 4-0 lead. Jaden Bastion, the bash of the summer.
Now, he didn't make amazing contact last night, as I just said, on the homer he hit in South County. He got all of that one, putting that into dead center field. The first grand slam of the summer for the Big Train.
Andrew Williamson had a grand slam earlier this week.
Sorry, that moment was so awesome, I actually subconsciously repressed it from my memory. Thank you, Phoebe Stats and Info, for keeping me accountable.
It's been a long week, but yeah, Andrew Williamson with a grand slam in Silver Spring, which tied the game at 7. First offering to Landon Franklin's fouled off for strike one. So that's second grand slam of the summer for the Big Train, and that's Jaden Bastion's 3rd home run of the summer. As you said earlier, his first 2 both coming at South County, as the 0-1 to Franklin in there for strike 2. That was just beautiful, just dead center.
And he knew it. Right off the bat, he knew it.
You saw center fielder Lukac ranging back at the wall, but to no avail. Landon Franklin lines that one. It's going to land just foul down the left field line, so he'll have to return to the plate to face the 0-2 count for a second time.
As we've entered a bit of a wind tunnel here at the Only Boys and Girls Club.
So you mentioned probably the most cloud coverage we've seen all summer, keeping things cool, but rain threatening as the 0-2 going to miss for ball one. That was a gorgeous grand slam from Jaden Bastion, the second of the summer for the Big Train. It's given the Big Train a 4-0 lead. We said they wanted to take a hefty lead. It's what gave them so much success over the Cropdusters the last time they faced them. As the 1-2 going to be in there for strike 3 and going to record out number 2 for the Big Train.
University of Maryland, Cole Constable.
Now stepping up to the plate, Cole Constable, the catcher for the Big Train tonight, recorded a base hit during his previous at-bat.
That grand slam also positive for Bastion. We've seen a few games where he's gone 0 for 4 or 0 for 5, but a great start here early.
As the first offering to Constable going to be low for ball one.
And speaking of good early starts, Cole Constable recording a base hit in his last at-bat.
Also took his first stolen base of the summer. Unfortunately was unable to come home, as the 1-0 going to be high for ball 2. The 2-0. That one popped through the hole. Going to drop in left field for a base hit. Cole Constable on fire tonight. Back-to-back base hits for the catcher.
Batting the second baseman, number 8 from Jacksonville, Justin Nadeau.
Now stepping up to the plate, top of the order, second baseman Justin Nadeau. 2 outs on the board, 1 runner on first. Big Train with a hefty 4-0 lead in the top of the 4th. First offering to Nadeau, going to be low and outside for ball 1. The 1-0. That one popped high into center field. This time under it, Nick Lukac. That's going to record out number 3. So Big Train leave one stranded on the base pad, but a grand slam from Jaden Bastion has given them a 4-0 lead. Looking to protect that when we return with the bottom of the 4th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
It's sweet suburbia, some fun is all we want.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network as we head into the bottom of the fourth. A grand slam from Jaden Bastian in the top of the fourth, giving the Big Train a commanding 4-0 lead. It's still Jake Titus on the bump, leading things off in the bottom of the fourth. For the Cropdusters is number 22, the first baseman, Coy Swanson. He'll take the first offering for strike one, the 0-1. That one in there for strike two. The 0-2, a swing and a miss for strike three and out number one. Swanson retired on just 3 pitches as number 26, Connor Spellman, steps up to the plate. Spellman struck out during his previous at-bat. 1 out now on the board for the Cropdusters, who are trailing by 4.
Swanson tried to check his swing there, but unfortunately couldn't hold up in time.
First offering to Spellman, going to be swung on and missed for strike one.
Titus generating a lot of swings and misses early on.
The 0-1, another swing and a miss. Looks like it was fouled off into the catcher, Cole Constable. Count moving 0-2 on Spellman. 1 out on the board for the Cropdusters. Umpire's going to hand Titus a fresh ball.
And it looks like Constable got hit again on that foul ball. The Big Train down to just one catcher tonight. Luke Vaughn and Nick DeLisi both out tonight.
I think it was when we were in Silver Spring, we mentioned Cole Constable was just a ball magnet, not only from behind the plate, but also as a batter. Was hit by a pitch and nearly got hit by a throw to first. The 0-2 to Spellman, popped high into right field. It's going to be out of play at the wall with the catch, and out number 2, first baseman Emilio Gonzalez. So a quick 2 outs for the Big Train pitching and fielding squad. That's going to send up number 9, Mac Lewis, to the plate. Cropdusters now have 2 outs on the board, no runners on, trailing by 4.
That pop-up nearly exiting the atmosphere. Those are sneaky, difficult pop flies to catch.
As the first offering to Lewis is in there for strike one.
Once the ball reaches its apex, it never really goes straight down, but a good job of Gonzalez to corral it.
As the 0-1 gonna get away from catcher Constable there. Count moves 1-1 on Lewis. The 1-1. That one fouled off into the backstop for strike two.
Now the Cropdusters are looking to make a late push to perhaps get the 3 seed as well. Currently hold the 4 seed. They would be hosting the Senators in a play-in game should the season end today.
The 1-2. That one gonna nail Lewis in the thigh. He's gonna take his base at first. So the Cropdusters 2 outs on the board. Now a runner on first for number 24, Griffin Hoovel, the right fielder for the Cropdusters.
Now as a pitcher, any hit by pitch is a little emotionally deflating, but especially on 2 strikes when you have the batter right on the ropes and you bail him out with a hit by pitch. Let's see if Titus can bounce back and keep the Cropdusters scoreless here with 2 outs.
As Lewis going to be chased back to first. First offering to Puvel, outside for ball 1. The 1-0. That one going to land in the dirt for ball 2.
It's always interesting to see the mental fortitude being tested, even if it's not necessarily in a late game, high-stakes situation. especially for Titus, who plays baseball in the best baseball conference in the country. It'll be important for him to bounce back after, again, hit by pitches like that.
As the 2-0 is in there for strike one.
It's one thing to try and have to rally here in the Ripken League, but it's another when you're at Texas A&M or at Arkansas.
2-1, gonna be swung on and missed by Pouvel. Count goes even at 2 outs on the board for the Cropdusters, who have a runner on first. The 2-2. Another swing and a miss for strike 3 and out number 3. So the Cropdusters leave one stranded at first, still scoreless, trailing by 4. Big Train hoping to tack on a couple more insurance runs when we return with the top of the 5th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Top of the 5th, Andrew Williamson. First at the plate, his first offering. Hugs the right field line. He's going to take for second, and he will do so successfully. My goodness, Andrew Williamson, what a guy. Leading off the 5th inning, a gorgeous ground out to the right field, landing just fair in the corner of the right field for a lead-off double.
I call that Jeopardy the way it's a daily double for Andrew Williamson. Feels like almost every other game we have a two-bagger from the UCF Golden Knight. Now Davin Whitaker steps up to the plate with the runner in scoring position.
First offering to Whitaker upstairs for ball 1. Well, we've said Williamson pays his rent at second base.
You have. You've said that.
And am I wrong? He seems to.
No, you're not wrong. I just don't. That's your thing. That's not ours. That's yours. I don't want you to give credit to me when credit is actually not due.
Count now 1-1 on Davin Whitaker.
That was all you.
During Whitaker's previous at-bat was hit by a pitch, which ended up in a bases-loaded situation. And then a home run from Jaden Bastion, a grand slam, which gave the Big Train their 4-0 lead. Count now 2-1 on Whitaker, no outs on the board. Williamson on second with the Big Train's potential 5th run. Whitaker will show bunt. He'll lay one down successfully as the third baseman will make no throw. Whitaker on first, Williamson on third. Runners are on the corners for Emilio Gonzalez.
Big Train now a perfect 2 for 2 on bunt attempts. Runners now on the corners for Gonzalez.
Florida Atlantic University, Emilio Gonzalez.
Gonzalez, a shallow hit that put him on base, and then the first successful bunting attempt from the big train earlier this evening by Christopher Diaz loaded the bases. First offering to Gonzalez is going to be low and outside for ball one.
Great sliding backhand stop there from Spellman. A pretty expansive backstop here and a speedy runner on third and Williamson.
And it is a new pitcher up on the bump for the Cropdusters, Matt Chamonix. As the 1-0 is going to be high for ball two. Whitaker charging after second. The throw from Spellman not in time. So Whitaker, another gutsy move around the base path, paying off big time. He has now put 2 runners in scoring position.
Actually looked like he caught Spellman off guard. But more great base running from Whitaker.
As a 2-0 going to be outside for ball 3.
Now considering that Williamson has a lot of speed over there on third again, I thought Spellman might eat that and just allow Whitaker to take second, but he threw it down. A good cutoff, though, by Reinhold to hold Williamson at third.
As the 3-0 going to miss for ball 4. Gonzalez will take his base at first, and we've got another bases loaded situation. It's Williamson at third, Whitaker at second, Gonzalez at first. Christopher Diaz now at the plate. Now his successful bunt during his last at-bat loaded the bases. And then a timely home run from Jaden Bastian gave the big train a 4-0 lead. Now in a platinum situation to extend that lead even further. No outs on the board. Bases loaded. A powerful hitter at the plate in Christopher Diaz, who was here in Olney for the All-Star game, representing the big train in the Northern Cal Ripken League for the All-Star game. We'll see a conclusion of the mound visit over to Matt Chamonix. And Diaz will re-enter the batter's box.
This is my favorite rendition of Bad and Bougie.
The first offering to Diaz, going to be low and outside for ball 1. That was the last time the big train played the Cropdusters here at the Olney Boys and Girls Club. Cropdusters having a superhero night. We're donning specialty superhero jerseys and took care of the villains in that situation. The big train, the away team, ultimately took a 3-2 late inning victory over the big train. Count now 2-0 on Diaz. Big train looking for a much different result here in Olney. It's a 2-0 check swing, didn't go. Count gonna move 3-0 on Diaz.
And could we also see the big train's third grand slam of the season, 2-in-1 game?
That would be incredible. As we said, a powerful hitter up at the plate, a Cal Ripken League All-Star in Christopher Diaz. So a prime situation to do so, as the 3-0 gonna miss for ball 4. So not a grand slam, but he'll take his base and bring in run number 5 as Williamson walks in off of third.
Now another sneaky power bat stepping up to the plate in Jordan Crosland.
Looks like we're gonna see another mound visit over to Matt Chamonix, the second in this half inning. As you said, it's going to be Jordan Crosland up at the plate, a powerful bat. He is the designated hitter for tonight. It looks like we are going to see a pitching change for the Cropdusters, so that'll end the evening for Matt Chamonix. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but stay tuned when we return with the top of the 5th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
you up. I'm gonna ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train, ride the boogie train till the sun comes up. Meet me in the corner alone. 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 Boogie down.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Still in the top of the fifth. A bases loaded situation. Jordan Crosland at the plate. Diaz walked, which brought in the fifth run of the evening for the Big Train, who are currently leading 5-0 over the Cropdusters. New pitcher on the bump in Ben Berger. His first offering to Crosland is going to be low for ball one. And we've got a guest on the mic. It's our producer, Jordan Parham. Jordan, how are you doing this evening?
Howdy, y'all. It's going pretty good.
The 1-0 to Crosland is upstairs for ball two. Now, Jordan, this isn't your first time on the mic. Actually, earlier this month, took over from my role and commentated on the game. How was that experience?
Definitely getting back into the swings of things.
As the 2-0 is popped high into center field, Andret with the glove catch, and out number one is center fielder Lukac. Attempts to make the throw down to home, but it's going to be offline. So Whitaker, who charges off of third, will score run number 6 for the Big Train, who still have runners on first and second, and Christopher Diaz and Emilio Gonzalez. One out on the board. Jaden Bastian now at the plate. Bastian's home run during his previous at-bat, a grand slam, which gave the Big Train a 4-0 lead in the top of the fourth. That lead has now been extended to 6-0. First offering to Bastian going to be upstairs for ball one.
Jordan was doing color commentary. What you expected, or were there different things that you weren't necessarily expecting coming into it?
Well, yes and no. I've done play-by-play in the past, not color before.
As the 1-0 popped high into center field, and under it is right fielder Pouvel. He'll make the throw to Reinhold at short, but Gonzalez makes it back safely to second. Diaz still on first. Now 2 outs on the board for the Big Train as the shortstop Landon Franklin steps up to the plate.
Yeah, definitely not. I've done color. I've done play-by-play before, never color. But just kind of copying the way that you guys do it. Craig McLaughlin does it. That's someone who I just look after, and just kind of copy the way you guys did it, how you guys do it now, and how he does it with the Caps.
As the first offering to Franklin is popped high into right field, and under it with the catch, and out number 3 is Griffin Pouvel. So the Big Train leave 2 stranded on the base pad, but not before scratching across 2 more runs. They now have a commanding 6-0 lead. We're going to return with the bottom of the 5th when we come back. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Gonna be the bottom of the 5th where your Bethesda Big Train is leading 6-0 over the home team, the Cropdusters. Leading things off for the bottom of the 6th is their shortstop Josh Reinhold. He'll take the first offering, a swing and a miss for strike 1. Again, it's still Jake Titus on the bump. As the 0-1 gonna be swung on and missed for strike 2.
Now a quick note, we are officially through 4.5 innings here at the Only Boys and Girls Club. That means if the game is stopped for any reason, that this game would be considered complete, considering that the Cropdusters are the home team and the Big Train have had 5 chances to bat.
As the 1-2 fouled off, Reinhold will stay alive at the plate.
As we are expected to get some rain here and only in about 20 minutes.
Man, I hope not. I just set up this computer and the audio switcher, and
The 1-2 outside for ball 2.
there's so many electronics out here. It could probably, water plus all these electronics wouldn't be too good.
The 2-2, Allen grounded softly to Franklin at short. He'll make the throw to Gonzalez at first in time for out number 1. So that'll send up the top of the order. Number 11, Bryce Herb.
From Shippensburg University, Bryce.
Although, Jordan, this isn't the first time that the equipment has seen heavy rain. I remember a game over in Gaithersburg where it was just pouring down on us. We did our best to cover the equipment, but it did get a little waterlogged.
A bit. Just a smidge.
First offering to Herb, gonna be in there for strike 1.
That's probably the one thing I did not expect to be doing, especially as a PA for summer baseball.
As the 0-1 gonna bounce in the dirt for ball 1.
Nonetheless, would not trade this job for the world.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your experience with this summer internship as the producer, as the 1-1's gonna be in the dirt for ball 2.
Well, as cliche as it sounds, I don't go to work. And by what I mean by that, of course, you've heard the famous quote, you know, if you do something you love, you'll never go to work a day in your life. And it feels like this summer went by too fast because I quite literally, it feels like I haven't worked a day this summer, but in reality, I've done a lot, especially with Lindsay not being here. That's also what I miss too. I miss my buddy Lindsay. We used to just always just chat in the production room. So yeah.
Wishing Lindsay a speedy recovery. We're so sad that she hasn't been able to be with us lately. Full count on Bryce Herb. The 3-2 is popped high and fouled out of play, so Herb will stay alive to face the full count.
I think we also might need to get Emilio Gonzalez a new hat as well. Every time he is straight into foul territory, the hat is flown off.
That might be also because of the gusts of wind that are coming through at Olney.
That was happening before the wind came.
The 3-2 is going to be upstairs for ball 4, so Herb will take his base.
Although I never thought about doing production assisting as a career, it's definitely up there as something I know that you know, if I don't become a sideline reporter or a broadcaster, if I'm stuck doing production assisting for the rest of my life, you know, I'd be happy with it. I enjoy this.
I definitely agree with you. I think this summer has gone by far too quickly. I can't believe we're already in the middle of July. Is the first offering to designated Kirk gonna miss for ball 1. Just seems like it's flown by. I mean, you try and think back to the early games of June and it feels like forever ago, but to think that we're staring down the playoffs just coming up this weekend is insane.
And that's the part of the season where tomorrow is not guaranteed.
As the 1-0 gonna be low for ball 2.
Tomorrow is quite literally not guaranteed for teams like the Big Train, even though they have been one of the better teams in the Ripken League, unable to secure one of the 2 byes, unable to secure the North Division title. Again, that going to the Gaithersburg Giants for the first time ever, as we're going to have a quick mound visit here.
I'm loving the organ today. It's festive, you know?
The Cropdusters definitely known for their eccentricities. You know, the organ music playing from the sound team, the overall jerseys that they don at home, and the bright all yellow away jerseys. I think that's one of the things that makes coming to games at the Only Boys and Girls Club so much fun. You know, although I was sad we couldn't host the All-Star game at Shirley Povich Field, I was thrilled to be able to come back to the Only Boys and Girls Club for the All-Star game. We're going to see a conclusion of the mound visit to Titus. Again, it's designated hitter Jimmy Kirk at the plate facing a 2-0 count. The 2-0 going to be grounded through the hole. It's going to be a base hit for Kirk. That'll advance Herb to second. Now stepping up, number 31, Anthony Swenda, the third baseman. Cropdusters have 1 out on the board and 2 runners on base.
One thing I can definitely say, though, is, you know, although the Cropdusters are supposed to be our rivals, I would really like a jersey.
I like the jerseys that their interns wear, the all-black Cropdusters. I think they're very, very stylish. It's the first offering to Swenda in there for strike 1.
I wouldn't say stylish.
The black ones that the interns wear?
Oh, those ones. Yeah, never mind. I thought you were talking about the
The
players.
overall isn't exactly my style, but I like seeing them wear it out on the field. The 0-1 popped high into right field. It's going to land out of play at the wall in front of the Cropdusters bullpen. Count 0-2 on Swendo.
And now the game at PG Community College went final a little bit ago. The Senators knocked off the Grays 4-2, a huge win for Southern Maryland, as they currently hold the 5 seed in the Ripken League playoffs. Although they are now just a game up on the Braves for the last wild card spot.
As the 0-2 popped high into left field, under it with the catch, and out number 2 is Jaden Bastian. He'll make the throw over to Whitaker at third to keep Herb at second. So 2 outs now on the board for the Cropdusters, who still have runners on first and second. It's Bryce Herb at second and Jimmy Kirk, the designated hitter, at first. As now number 25, the center fielder Nick Lukak, is up at the plate again. 2 outs on the board.
In Alexandria, the Aces leading 1-0 over the Braves in the bottom of the first. The Braves also fighting for their playoff lives. Currently hold the 6th seed in the Ripken League standings.
And it's the first offering to Lukak in there for strike 1.
Both them and the Grays sitting at 14-20, but the Braves own the tiebreaker over the Grays. So if the 2 teams were to end the season tied, the Braves would be ahead in the standings over the Grays.
As Lukak will swing and miss on the 0-1, bringing the count 0-2 on the center fielder. And the Big Train coming into this game with a record of 19-15. Cropdusters a record of 16-17. Big Train looking to pick up their 20th win of the season. The 0-2 line through the hole. That's going to load the bases. Nope. Herb going to round towards home. The throw over to home. Going to bobble out of the catcher's mitt. So the Cropdusters have scored their first run of the evening. Still have runners on first and second. An excellent hit from center fielder Nick Lukak.
From the University of Maryland, Coy Swanson.
Now stepping up to the plate, Coy Swanson, the first baseman for the Cropdusters. Again, the Big Train, the only team outside of the 2 division leaders to clinch a playoff standing. First offering to Swanson, gonna be in there for strike 1.
Coy Swanson again, 4 home runs and 17 RBIs entering tonight. Cropdusters looking to chip in even more.
As the 0-1 will miss for ball 1.
I will say, though, the clouds above us and in the distance looking a bit ominous.
Spooky.
As the 1-1 going to be outside for ball 2.
I do fear a little bit for the well-being of our fellow Big Train interns to the left of us, although they are currently covered. When those few raindrops fell earlier in the game, again, they ran in there like the sky was on fire.
I was going to say, they're fine. They're under a 10.
Count now even at 2 on Swanson. 2 outs on the board for the Cropdusters, who have a runner on first and second. They've cut the Big Train lead down to 5. As the 2-2 going to be fouled off.
I got to start working overtime if the rain starts coming.
See, I do worry about the other interns getting trapped under that tent if we do see some heavy pouring rain.
They'll live. I'm just kidding. I love all of them.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'm just kidding, after the you said, I think they'll live. That's I got to say, that's a better second half of the sentence than what I thought you were going to say.
Swanson fouling off the 2-2 again. Will stay alive at the plate. I just meant that it's going to take a while for them to take down that tent, judging on how long it took them to put up the tent. So if we do see some heavy pouring rain, I'm not sure what they're going to do. Count moves full on Swanson.
It just hit me that this tent is going in my car.
Ooh.
If it's wet, we're just going to leave it here.
The 3-2. That one popped high and out of play. Swanson doing a heck of a job to extend this at bat.
I might go grab that later.
The foul ball. Assistant General Manager Patrick Chapman not here to go chasing after the foul ball.
Oh, someone's already chasing after it. Man.
The 3-2 to Swanson. Gonna be just a hair too high for ball 4. With that, Swanson will load the bases for the Cropdusters. As now the catcher, number 26, Connor Spellman, steps up to the plate. So with the bases loaded, 2 outs on the board, we're gonna see a quick mound visit over to Jake Titus from catcher Cole Constable and manager Sal Colangelo. Can see some action in the Big Train bullpen, and it looks like we are going to have a pitching change for the Big Train. So we're going to cut it to a quick commercial break. Trevor Orth coming in for relief for the Big Train. We'll get to see him take on the mound when we return with the bottom of the 6th. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.
Watching you when you leave. Something new. Keep hoping you feel this too. Holding on and on and on and on. Hoping I can get to know you better. Living in sweet suburbia. Some fun is all we want. Two kids come alive in a night rush. I'll be the girl.
Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Still in the bottom of the 6th. Cropdusters have recorded their first run of the evening, have bases loaded. Connor Spellman at the plate, but on the bump, the Cinderella story of the Big Train's game with the Giants at Shirley Povich Field, Trevor Orth. His first offering to Spellman in there for strike 1. Now, Orth quite literally stepped out of the concession stand at Shirley Povich Field into the bullpen and then onto the mound through 2 shutout innings to close the game. The 0-1 to Spellman, gonna be swung on and missed for strike 2.
Quite literally went from burgers to baseball.
I told him he should have been a Disney Channel movie. The 0-2. That one popped high and out of play, so Spellman will stay alive to face the 0-2 count again. Orth just a strike away from ending the inning here and getting the Big Train out of quite the jam. Again, the Cropdusters have cut their lead down to 5. Have bases loaded, 2 outs on the board. Spellman in an 0-2 hole. The 0-2. That one's in there for strike 3 and out number 3. So Trevor Orth shuts down his first batter, faced his 7th of the summer that he sent down swinging. And the Big Train still lead by 5. Stay tuned as we head into the top of the 6th. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network. Welcome back to the Big Train Baseball Network. Oh, looks like we've got a
We hear some sirens here.
thunderstorm
OBGC.
warning alarm, so we're actually going to cut it
Okay, fans,
back to a commercial break.
The groans, it sounds like you all know what that means.
Yep.
That means we have to clear.
We're going to need to clear the stadium. So
Our return is TBD.
to be decided, but we're going to cut it to a commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on the state of the game. You're listening to the Big Train Baseball Network.